quote from the Ten Commandments there, honor your father and mother. The Bible is full of the idea of honor. The opposite of honor is shame, by the way. Shame is the worst possible thing, and honor is the elevation of somebody rightly because of their doing right, and they're worthy of honor. Well, your parents are worthy of honor, especially, we should say, on Mother's Day. Your mother is the one who suffered quite a lot of pain bringing you into the world. Where would you be without your mother? Where would you be without your father, we could say also. So you're to honor these revered people, children of all ages. You're to obey your parents in the Lord, and if they're not in the Lord, you should still honor them as parents. Well, you don't obey, you cannot obey God and somebody who's contradicting God, because there's women who were told to kill, in the book of Exodus, they were told to kill off the babies, right? They didn't do it. They absolutely didn't do it. It would have been quite wrong. What about Daniel and his friends who were told to bow down to the statue? They said, no, we're not doing that. So this is not a blanket command that you do everything the government tells you. And recently, of course, people have disputed that. On the whole, you should do what the government tells you to do because they're looking out for your best interest. I love the fact that he quotes this as there being a promise attached to the commandment in verse 3, so that it may be well with you and that you may live long on the earth. All right, so going to heaven when you die is something that nobody does at all in the New Testament. Nobody goes to heaven when they die. Jesus has gone to heaven after being raised from the dead. That's true, but nobody goes to heaven when you die. So forget the language about when I get to heaven, won't it be great in heaven? Don't even say that, because the more you tell lies by speaking, the more you tend to believe them. So we won't do that. Everything is about inheriting the earth in the Bible. 5 times you show your friends in Psalm 37, 5 times it speaks of inheriting the earth and living in the earth forever and being promoted to inherit the earth. So it sounds like the earth is a good place to be. That's Jeremiah 27:5 that we started. And of course, there are guarantees that if we do well, we will inherit the kingdom. That's a guarantee. There's no guarantee that a failed human being or a failing human being is going to do right. Well, Jesus, of course, is comforting them because he does say, don't think I came to bring peace. I didn't. From now on, mother will be at odds with daughter, fathers with sons. There's going to be all sorts of confusion and opposition within the family. And so then Jesus says, who are my real family? Those who do the will of God. So that's the opposite side of that coin. Fathers then are commanded in verse 4, we didn't comment on this, not to provoke your children. You shouldn't then test their obedience, which they've learned from verse 1, chapter 6. Don't push that obedience to a limit and strain that it cannot bear by provoking them, by maddening them with making them do all sorts of trivial things possibly that are not too wise. So fathers had better watch out how they deal with their children. Don't provoke them to anger, don't frustrate them, but bring them up, educate them in the discipline and instruction of the Lord.